The UFC has officially settled another lawsuit, but this time, it wasn't with fighters over contracts or pay. It was with fans. After resolving the high-profile antitrust lawsuit with fighters from the LEVIZ UFA class, the UFC has now agreed to pay $1.2 million in a separate class action lawsuit. This one centered around UFC Fight Pass, the promotion's subscription-based streaming service. According to Top Class Actions, the lawsuit accused the UFC of violating federal laws by automatically renewing subscriptions without providing proper disclosure. The case specifically applied to users in California, Washington, D.C., Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Oregon, Virginia, and Vermont. If you are living in one of those states and subscribed to Fight Pass between October 11, 2018 and January 21, 2025, you may be eligible to receive part of the settlement. The problem? Users weren't given clear information or proper consent disclosures in the fine print during the subscription process. That means fans were signed up for recurring billing without knowing exactly what they were agreeing to. As a result, the UFC has agreed to settle the lawsuit for $1.2 million. The settlement includes an admission of guilt from the UFC, which is notable considering most class action settlements end with companies denying wrongdoing. In this case, the UFC has acknowledged fault. Now for the fans affected by this, they'll be getting something back. Depending on the outcome of the settlement process, eligible users will either receive a check for $9.99 or 2 free months of Fight Pass. It's a clear message that even the biggest sports promotions in the world have to comply with consumer protection law. It also shows how important transparency is when it comes to subscriptions and digital services. And while that situation is being resolved in court, Dana White is moving ahead with something entirely different and potentially game-changing. The UFC president just revealed that the company is working closely with Meta on an overhaul of the fighter ranking system. Here's what Dana had to say.
What's up, everybody? UFC and Meta just signed a massive long-term partnership. Meta will now become UFC's first ever official fan technology partner. This is great news for UFC fans. Why? We started to work with Meta to create a new fighter ranking system that will debut later this year. Thank God.
That's all Dana revealed for now, short and to the point. But this move suggests the UFC might be shifting to a new format for rankings, possibly incorporating data analytics or even AI through its partnership with Meta. For years, fans and fighters alike have criticized the UFC ranking system for being inconsistent, politically influenced, or simply outdated. With Meta now involved, the UFC seems ready to revamp the system entirely and debut something new later this year. So in the span of just a few days, the UFC has closed a $1.2 million legal case over subscription issues, admitted fault, and at the same time signaled a massive shift in how fighters will be ranked going forward. That's a lot of change, and we'll be keeping a close eye on how this new ranking system plays out once it launches. If you found this update helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more MMA updates, news, and stories.